the war sometimes later?
Yeah, sure. I mean, we have better baseball bat now. So Mr. Woods are not going into the war effort anymore. It's a lot more fun playing with a good baseball bat.
True, there was a time when it looked like baseball wasn't going on.
How come?
I think it was pretty going towards the war effort, so there was no materials for baseball, but the sport fans have made such a great effort to preserve it. At the other side, the green line letters to let the sports continue. It really shows how people can fight for what they really want.
And during a time when the FIFA World Cup and the World Series at Tokyo were both cancelled, that was really something.
What about basketball? That's what I want. That's not a sport for girls. You're too chunky anyways.
Carol, be nice to your sister.
Sorry.
Right. Basketball was a good thing during the wartime. If you were too tall, you are now eligible for the war and the military.
Really? That sounds unfair.
It's the truth though. But because all those tall players were too tall, they became basketball players. And that's when they made the Basketball Association of America and the National Basketball League in 1946 and just this year, 1949.
Hey fellas, how are you all?
Doing pretty good on sport, now that I'm back with Shirley.
Yeah, it's good to be back here. Better than cuddling up with that anaconda we met in the Philippines. But do you remember that lizard that climbed onto the window of our B-29 and wouldn't get off? His thing bit like the devil, and he bit my hand off.
Yeah, but it cracked me up to hear you howl like a banshee when it sank its teeth in you.
You're a real gas, Thomas.
It was not quite as bad as the atomic bomb that was carried to Hiroshima. I still can't believe we were in the same kind of plane that was used to carry this bomb. Made one wonder what it could be like if the B-29 we were in this mission.
It makes sense that it was chosen, though. It was designed to carry heavy munitions long distance. That munition was certainly one of the heaviest.
Definitely. That was an amazing piece of science, though. It was the brainchild of the engineering district in Manhattan, 1942. That's where the project got its name, the Manhattan Project.
Yeah, and did you hear about the first nuclear test back in 1945?
Yeah.
They used 6 kilograms of plutonium, and the blast caused an explosion like 20 kilotons of TNT. What's 20 kilotons in pounds? Okay, let's see. 1 kiloton is 1,000 tons, and then 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So that's 2 million pounds already. Multiply the 20. That's 40 million pounds of TNT.
How about the antibiotic back from the 1940s?
Yeah, I remember that.
Penicillin? Yeah. Saved my life back in the Philippines. I got some weird disease there. But it cleared it right up. God bless whoever created it.
And God bless who did that first metal hip replacement surgery. It happened the same year, and ever since I was in that bomb dropping, my hip hadn't been quite the same. I wouldn't be walking if I hadn't had that surgery. Boy, there's a lot of inventions going around that are changing a whole lot of lives.
Your house is so lovely, and I'm so glad you come to the neighborhood. Oh, I know. It's so good for my husband to be with his friends and let me get to know you. My kids love it here, too.
What all this though? Are you selling Tupperware?
Sometimes, yes. It's really such a great thing for me to do, because while Robert has a job, I can still provide for my family as well, and it's allowed me to make friends with lots of people.
Oh, that sounds nice. I miss working during the war.
Well, what is Tupperware? It sounds interesting, but I'm not sure what it is.
It's a plastic case made from raw polyethylene. The creator, Earl Silas Tupper, was a small-town inventor who invented it. He took his idea from a paint can, combined it with the plastic, and voila, you have your Tupperware that keeps everything fresh.
But this idea of a Tupperware party is from Jeremy Weiss. She was a single mother who was trying to provide for the children. By doing this, she took more orders and got more money in one day than most door-to-door salesmen in a week. Now, more women are doing this to support their family or just have extra money on hand. You guys have all come over here. My dad, he just can't stop talking about the war and sleep medicine with his friends. And my mom, she just keep blabbing on the Tupperware stuff. Well, Carol has been stuck on talking about the book she's gonna write though.
That sounds really boring. How come they could not talk about the movie or something like that?
I don't know. That's really the only thing that's cool these days. Speaking of which, have you heard of the movie Dumbo? I heard it's really swell. It's a little old though.
Well, I heard a little bit about it, and it just comes to say something that's secretly about it, and that he can fly with his ear and overcome his bad stuff and overcome.
That's pretty cool. I'd like to do something.
James, are you saying that your ears are big enough to allow you to
Well,
fly?
no! I mean like getting over all that kind of bad stuff and like becoming a hero for everybody.
Okay,
You know, like
James.
Bambi.
Okay.
You know? Bambi! Bambi!
James. Henry Lawson's not named the first couple of minutes. Why would you want to know that?
Not with that part.
You hope not. You loaded quite so hard when his mom got shot.
Shut up! I did not!
It's okay, James. It's okay. I cried too. But at the end, when Bambi saves Lee and becomes the prince of the forest, that was real nice. And I thought that was pretty brave of him to do that. There's a lot of good movies coming out like that, and it makes me want to do the same thing.
Do you think all those movies are like that because of the war?
Nah. But the news before the films were also bleak, since they were about the war. People just hurt each other, and I prefer listening to the radio instead.
Yeah, but that was the only way they could get the movie picture news. Have you seen new television that have come out? We just recently got one, and it's killer. We just sit there, and then we can watch movie, then come on, and not have to pay to the movies.
Well, really, we don't have television at home. We just listen to the radio program instead. It's easier to do other stuff, you know. For my mom, she can listen to her story when she's doing housework, and I can listen to the music while I do my homework.
By the way, which is your favorite song? Mine is The White Christmas by Bing Crosby. Although we can only hear it once a year, but it's still so nice to listen to it again.
Mine is When You Wish Upon a Star.
That's perfect.
It's from Pinocchio.
Oh wow.
You all have such kitty taste. Frank Sinitra's best, and the Old Blue Eyes is the best when it comes to pouring out those notes.
But what does code mean?
I don't know. It's above my pay grade.
I'm trying to write a novel, but what do I write about? I don't know what's popular these days.
Well, it's like either people are hoping for prosperity and happiness, or they're still upset about the war. It's really one or the other.
That sounds really extreme. Can't I make something in the middle?
I don't think so. Those two seem to be the symbols of this decade. The world was a war when this decade began.
What a depressing thought, but given what's happened, that's not surprising. This war was awful. Writers seem determined to drag us right in the middle of it.
Did you ever read Little Friend, Little Friend?
No,
Randall Jarrell wrote it while he was still in the war. It really describes how soldiers felt and how they should stick to their morals. I can almost feel how the intense fear that they felt during it.
Wow, that is an extreme. Can you imagine that?
Not at all. I wish a war like this will never happen again. Everyone has said that our decade is so sad and unlovely, and I completely agree with them.
Even on our own soil. The book, All the King's Men, talks about how dark the American dream can be, especially with Huey Long. Even FDR called him one of the most dangerous men in the U.S. He wanted to make us a dictatorship in America. Good thing that fathead died before anything could come of that.
There are still writers who wrote to keep people's hopes up. Even though he never finished it, F. Scott Fitzgerald wrote The Last Tycoon, which is about a normal girl who wanted to fall in love with a Hollywood star. I mean, even though it was doomed, it still kept people alive and in hopes of the future.
But that still doesn't give me much to work with. Maybe I'll just write a political story about stuff in the war. I have to ask my parents about that, though.
And do other research, too. That's what being a writer is all about.
Richard was buzzing, cousin. Man, let's talk about the political stuff.
Oh, don't get him started on that. We just stopped by since we were in the neighborhood. If we get started on that, we'll be here all night.
Don't worry about that. We haven't seen each other for a long time, and we have old discussion about that.
Some of them ended with a black eye though, but they were still fun.
All those Allied leaders who lead us to victory in Europe, honestly, I think that he was the best president we've had in a while.
Well, I couldn't say that. I still think that centralizing the government was a little bit extreme. But in fact, he did such a good job for our country.
But he was World War with the USSR at the moment, all because of the communist containment policy nonsense. We all should just do as we wish and let our other countries decide which political systems they want. Don't we just fight a war to be over?
But still, how about that FDR fellow? What a man, I mean, shame that he didn't see the end of the war. He did some pretty great things during it.
And getting us all back on our feet? That really helped our economy a lot. Everyone got to working and making money again. Even though the war was terrible, it's what got our economy back where it needs to be. After all, it's all hands on deck when you need to supply an army with weapons.
The one who bring us into the war in the first place. FDR tried to...
Go.
But then again, Japan was the one who bring us into the war in the first place. FDR had wanted to keep up all of the fighting with the neutrality Act of 41. But once Pearl Harbor was bombed in December that same year, that was the end of us staying out of the war.
Than Truman. It's because of him that we're in this Cold War with the USSR at the moment. All because of the communist containment policy nonsense. We all should just do what we wish and let other countries decide which political system they want. Don't we just fight a war over that?
Oh, but he also ended the same war. Japan wasn't surrendering anytime soon. Dropping a bomb was a decision that has to be made. I mean, it's a hard one, but it's a necessary one. He was criticized because of it, but I mean, anyone who made that would be.
And you know what? Maybe we'll be better allies from now on. Well, we've kept you longer. I'm not going to keep you from your bed any longer.
Oh, don't worry about it, buddy. You visit whenever, and don't be strangers.
Bye, good night.
That was a really interesting decade, wasn't it?
Yes, I'm so excited, and I can't wait to see what the next one brings.
That's where the project got its name, the Manhattan Project.
Yeah.